Today we're doing a review on the Edgit Pro.
I'm going to show you guys how to set it up and install it, and then we'll show it in use. So you're going to want to have all the hardware ready that it comes with. 2 nuts here, hex bolts, some Phillips head screws, washers and lock washers. You're also going to want a screwdriver want a pin to remove your head. If you don't have this that came with your trimmer, you're going to want to grab just a long screw or something of similar size. This tool that came in your kit with the trimmer to get out the screws. You're gonna want 2 socket wrenches. You're gonna want a 10mm and a 5/16. So you're first gonna want to start by taking off the bump head. Get your little tool, your little pin, stick it down in the top, turn your head until it goes in, like that, and then push down on it while turning on your head. And it should just pop out like this. Make sure you don't lose this. All right, next there will be some screws back here. You can unscrew to take off the orange guard. And this is for Stihl trimmers, by the way. I know each trimmer has a specific mounting bracket. Now you're going to want to take your bolts, put on the lock washer and the regular washer onto all 4 of them. Your little mounting block should be placed on like this. And then put your 4 bolts and screw them on through the holes with the lock washers and the regular washers. So now you're going to want to take your disc, your Edgit Pro disc, and the 2 Phillips head screws that it came with. Stick these screws up through the Edgit Pro, through the marked holes. They mark the holes with this yellow paint stuff. So stick it up through there. So once you have the screws through, go ahead and line them up with the mounting block and push the screws through. Now at this point, you're going to want to take the nuts that it came with and the other washers. Put a washer down, put the nut down, same with the other side, and just tighten them up. Alright, last step is just to put your head back on. Just make sure it's on there good, get your pin. Stick it on through. We're going to try and weed wax with some of it, edge, and weed some bed areas. Try weed whacking first, some normal weed whacking.
Works really well.
So our first test, the weed whacking, for my first time using it, it actually wasn't too hard. edging, this was the first side I edged, and it's the first time I've ever used an Edgit Pro for edging. When I do normally edge, I do usually use a stick edger, and you can definitely see the difference. The stick edger is a little closer, but still, this isn't too bad. You can see I improved a little bit with the other side, but you can definitely tell if you look here. There's definitely a bigger gap. It definitely tapers the edge back, which a lot of the times you can't do with a stick edger because the concrete's in the way, so you can't angle it. So I think that looks really good. I did, in some areas, go out too wide, but for our first time using it for edging, it's not terrible, but it's also not the best. With improvement, I can definitely see using this in the future. So for our last test, we're going to be weeding this little patch in the bed here. Not right here because there's cactus and those will shoot out spikes in there, and see if it can weed and see if it can keep debris from flying out. And so let's get to it. So as you can see, it completely cleared the weeds here, and I think it did a great job with that. It did it quickly. It didn't spray too much debris everywhere like you might get with just a normal guard on, or without a guard at all. It definitely kept the debris down, and it did a really good job, and it did it fast. So if you have a big weed job to do before, say, mulching, you could definitely use this, and it'd make the job way quicker, in my opinion. In conclusion, we'll definitely be using this and keeping it on our trimmer and using it in the future.